Hello all, welcome back to Wisdom Jobs. So today we are going to continue our exercise with Parajumbles. Yes, you heard me right. As we have started preparing for RBI Assistant Examination, which is actually the preliminary examination, which is going to be held on February 14th and 15th with 926 vacancies after 2 years. So, as we have already started the preparation for English language since yesterday, we have started discussing about Parajumbles. Yes, Parajumbles. We have briefly introduced what are Parajumbles and how to solve Parajumbles. Yesterday also, we have clearly pointed out 7 tips and tricks for you to easily solve Parajumbles. Today we are going to continue with the same exercise after what we have stopped yesterday. So if anyone of you have missed our video regarding Parajumbles yesterday, then please do watch our video, the introduction of Parajumbles with the tips and tricks how to solve them. So before going into the topic, please do subscribe our channel Wisdom Jobs, and also please do like and share our videos. And if you have any doubts regarding our topic, then please do drop a comment in our comment box. So let us see and go into what are Parajumbles. So yesterday many of you might have missed the introduction of Parajumbles. So I'll briefly explain you again what is Parajumbles and how to solve Parajumbles. Basically, Parajumbles name itself tells you what are the questions they are about to come. Para plus jumbles. Basically, para means a paragraph and jumbles. A paragraph which is already arranged are jumbled according to the sentences, and then they are given to you as in the exam to again rearrange into their order. So there are many such sentences which actually make you confused regarding what is the first sentence and what is the last sentence. So every paragraph has an opening sentence and a closing sentence. In the same way, every paragraph also has pronouns, nouns, adverbs, adjectives, etc. And there are various steps regarding how to solve them and how to understand the sentences. So the basic tip for all of you is, first try to understand all the sentences in the Parajumbles. There are basically 5 to 6 sentences which you get. So try to understand or try to attentively read it, what are the sentences, and try to understand the sentences in your own language. Basically, people can be of any language, any region. So it would be much more easier for you people if you try to understand the paragraph one by one in your own language. Never go for the answers at the first time. First read the whole paragraph and then try to make it in a sequence. Try to rearrange it in a sequence. So let us see how some examples of Parajumbles which I will be going to solve along with you. So yes, so basically as I have already mentioned you, there are basically a question pattern which is actually given like this in every competitive exams. Not only RBI assistant exam, there are other such exams like SSC CHSL which is going to come in March, and also various bank exams like SBI, IBPS, various exams are there where they generally ask you about Parajumbles. So let us see how to solve them, because I'll be also solving along with you. We can understand we both can understand how to solve this. So basically here 6 sentences are given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What they ask you is, rearrange the following 6 sentences 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 in the proper sequence to form a meaningful paragraph. Then answer the questions given below them. Now let us see the various questions here. It may seem odd at first blush, the teacher should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. This is the first sentence. So you should basically understand the whole sentence and then you go with it. Now we will be solving it like this. We will go from all the modes, basic level, easy levels, medium, and then also we will also be solving the hard levels, which is basically a difficult mode of Parajumbles. So it may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. However, if one considers the amount of time academics requires to prepare lectures of, so especially if you try to understand the second statement, अगर आप दूसरे वाक्य को देखेंगे तो यहाँ पे आपको however है, Yesterday we have discussed that most of the para jumbles generally consist of linking words or connectors or determinators. So what are these linking words, connectors and determinators? Basically, however, although, though, all the out to, all these kind of words come under the category of determinators or linking words. Basically, these words actually decide how to link between two sentences. That means these sentences can come at the last or in the middle only, not in the first, because you have to clearly understand this sentence. If you take this sentence has abruptly ended by off, with off it has abruptly ended. That means there is another sentence, a beginning of it. So we have to find out which sentence is next. Most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. Is the product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. The University Grants Commission directive to college and university lectures to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. So this is basically most of the sentences here are abruptly ended. That means it's not a continuation, but somewhere in the middle they have ended, and the continuation is somewhere here that we have to find it out. Then let's go as according to it. Now let us see the first sentence. This first sentence is a complete sentence. Like, it may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. However, if one considers the amount of time academics require to prepare lectures of, it is clear that most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. So if you see this, minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. 6 and 7 are a continuation. Why? Because this is a directive. So basically this will be the first sentence. The University Grants Commission's directive to college and university lectures to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. So basically this is a continuation. So 6 and 7 should be the continuation. So we are not yet sure whether this is the first beginning sentence of the paragraph or not, but we are here clear that 6 and 7 come together. 6 comes first and 7 comes later. Basically these kind of sentences are called as qualifier sentences. What are they called? They are called as qualifier sentences. What are qualifier sentences? Qualifier sentences is a sentence which actually tells about the other sentence which is going to follow next. So basically 6 number sentence is a qualifier sentence. So we have found out that 6 and 7 are done, 1 is done. Now let us go with the other 2, 3, 4, 5. To spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. It may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. However, if one considers the time. Now let us see this. The University Grants Commission's directive to college and university lectures to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. However, if one considers the amount of time academics require to prepare lectures of good quality as well as the time they need to spend doing research, it is clear that most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. So here 2, 3 and 4 come together. How? Is because, as I have already told you what is a qualifier, we can also see the linking words. So basically here also the linking words are there. Here linking words are like however, of. So these kind of topics like however, of, although, because of, all these kind, thus, all these kind of words are called as linking words. So basically here however is a linking word. So 2, 3 and 4 come together. That means 2, 3 and 4 are together, 6, 7 is together, 1 is alone. Now 5 is again there. What is the fifth sentence? It is a product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. So now we have to see which sentence should come first. Now let us see again. It may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. However, if one considers the amount of time academics require to prepare lectures of good quality as well as the time they need to spend doing research, it is clear that most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. The University Grants Commission directive to college and university lectures to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching is the product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. So now what you have to do is, so basically according to all these things, now 1 is the first sentence. 1 comes first. It may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. That is your beginning sentence. Then it follows, however, then 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then it comes 6. The University Grants Commission Directive to College, 6, then 7, then 5. So this is what is your sequence of the paragraph like. Now let us read according to this sequence. It may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. However, if one considers the amount of time academics required to prepare lectures of good quality as well as the time they need to spend doing research, it is clear that most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. The University Grants Commission's directive to college and university lectures to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching is the product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. So this is how the paragraph is formed. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 5. So your first sentence is sentence 1, 2, 3, 4, then 6, 7 came together and then the last 5. Now let us go to the questions what they have asked. Which of the following should be the first sentence after rearrangement? As we have found out, A is the option. As we have found out, A is the option. A is the first option. Now let us go to the second one. Which of the following should be the sixth sentence after rearrangement? So now comes our elimination term. Elimination term is the thing where sometimes the answers, the options itself tell you the answers of it. Like basically just now what happened is, we both together solved how a paragraph should be done. But there is an option missing. At that time is when you go with the answers. This is one of the difficult mode of paragraph which you actually get in RBI assistant exams. This is one of the paragraph which we actually got in a model paper many years back. So now our thing is how to solve the last sentence. So this is how you go. Now again read it. In your options itself, your answers are hidden. So when the paragraph is very difficult to solve, that is when you go through the options and then you try to understand what are the answers. Now for the second question, what is the last paragraph, last sentence, where they did not give you the option number 5. That means in this only your option will be there. So now let us see how to again rearrange it according to the options you have got. So now let us keep 6th number sentence as your first sentence. The University Grants Commission's directive to college and university lectures to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. 6 and 7 are together as usual because they are qualifier sentences. Then to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. However, if one considers the amount of, so now 5, leave about 5. Now just think that these both options are done. Six and 7 options are done. Now you are only left with 5 options in which you have to decide what is the option. So first 6 and 7, think 6 and 7 came together. So the University Grants Commission directive to college and university lectures to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. However, if one considers the amount of time academics required to prepare lectures of good quality as well as the time they need to spend doing research, it is clear that most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. So next comes 6, 7, 2, 3, 4. So here also 2, 3, 4 is done. It may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. Is the product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. So this is how it's formed. 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. Basically, you have to find all the options, all the answer options. Like you have to get around 4 to 5 sequences of the sentences, and then you match it with your answers. So this is what is called as elimination method. Now let us go with this. 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. Now let us see if this solves it or not. Which of the following should be the first sentence? Sixth option is here. You can take it as 6 is your first sentence. Which of the following should be the sixth sentence? So again, let us go to the paragraph. So here also the same thing happened. Again, in that options, your answer is not there. So this other kind of taking the options also is not successful. Now let us again see it. So your first two sentences are the right sentences, 6 and 7. 6 and 7 are the right sentences. Now only the 5 is the problem. Now let us again understand the fifth number sentences. Is the product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. So it may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. However, if one considers the amount of time academics require to prepare lectures of good quality as well as the time they need to spend doing research, it is clear that most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. Basically 2, 3, 4 are the same paragraph. So then 2, 3, 4 को अलग से रख दीजिए because 2, 3, 4 come together. 6, 7 also comes together. Now the only options left is 1 and 5. That is where you have to decide where to keep it. Is the product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. It may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. However, if one considers the amount of time academics require to prepare lectures of good quality as well as the time they need to spend doing research, it is clear that most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. So now let us keep fifth sentence as after the first sentence and try to form the paragraph. So how it may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. Then you will be writing about 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 comes together. 6, 7 comes together. Then where will you keep the 1 and 5 sentences? So only 1 and 5 do not have any chance where to occur them, where to keep them together. 1 is a complete sentence, but 5 is somewhere is a product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. So you can just simply write it that 6, 7, 5. Now try to form it like this. The university grants commission directive to college and university lectures to spend a minimum of 22 hours a week in direct teaching. Is the product of budgetary cutbacks rather than pedagogic wisdom. So now let us see 6, 7 के बाद 5 को रखते हैं. Then it may seem odd at first blush that teachers should protest about teaching a mere 22 hours. However, if one considers the amount of time academics require to prepare lectures of good quality as well as the time they need to spend doing research, it is clear that most conscientious teachers work more than 40 hours a week. That is how it's formed. 2, 6, 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is another possibility of the paragraph which you got. Now let us go through the answers again and let us find out. 6, 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the second one, which of the following should be the sixth sentence? Here fourth sentence option is here. So D is the right answer. Which of the following should be the second sentence after the rearrangement? Sixth option is here. So we can keep the sixth option. Which of the following should be the fourth sentence after the rearrangement? 1 is here, 6, 7, 5, 1 is here. So 1 will be the option. Which of the following should be the fifth sentence after the rearrangement? 2 is here. So 2 is the option. So your possibility is 6, 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is your possibility and that is your answer. Now let us go to the other sentences. There are 7 sentences given which, if sequenced in a proper order, form a coherent paragraph. Arrange these sentences and answer the subsequent questions. Here also 7 sentences are given. So if you arrange them in a proper manner, they form a proper paragraph. So let us find out how to solve it. Now let us read this. At the same time, they would break the illegal excavators' grip on the market. Archaeology as a profession faces 2 major problems. First, it is the poorest of the poor. Only paltry sums are available for excavating, and even less is available for publishing the results and preserving the sites once excavated. Second, there is the problem of illegal excavation resulting in museum quality pieces being sold to the highest bidder. I would propose that scientific archaeological expeditions and government authorities excavated artifacts on the open market, sell excavated artifacts on the open market. Such sales would provide substantial funds for the excavation and preservation of archaeological sites, thereby decreasing the inducement to engage in illegal activities. So here 7 sentences are given. So as we have already told you that you have to first read the sentences properly. Here there is a big clue. Find the B number sentence. Archaeology as a profession faces 2 major problems. First, it is the poorest of the poor. So B is an option. Then you see there is a second also. Second, there is a problem of illegal excavation resulting in museum quality pieces being sold to the highest bidder. This is also there. So B and D come together. Why? First here and second here. There is a continuation of both the sentences by using that archaeology is a profession which faces 2 major problems. First, it is the poorest of the poor. Second, there is a problem of illegal excavation resulting in museum quality pieces being sold to the highest bidder. So B and D are together. Now let us go to the option C. Which sentence should be the first sentence? Which sentence should be the second sentence? Which sentence should be the third sentence? Which sentence should be the fourth sentence? And which sentence should be the second to the last in the paragraph? Second to the last. That means 6th sentence. Now let us find this thing. So keep it as, find out the first opening sentence. What is the opening sentence? Let us see that sentence. At the same time, they would break the illegal excavators' grip on the market. No. For archaeology as a profession faces 2 major problems. First, it is the poorest of the poor. You can keep it also. B as our opening sentence, you can keep it. As we have already discussed, B then D. Okay, then archaeology as a profession faces 2 major problems. First, it is the poorest of the poor. Second, there is a problem of illegal excavation resulting in museum quality pieces being sold to the highest bidder. Such sales would provide substantial funds for the excavation and preservation of archaeological sites, thereby decreasing the inducement to engage in illegal activities. You can keep F and G both together, but we do not know whether they follow it together. So at the same time, they would break the illegal. So what all sentences are done? B is done, D is done, F is done and G is done. Now try to find out A, C and D and we can arrange them in a proper order. At the same time, they would break the illegal excavators' grip on the market. Only paltry sums are available for excavating and even less is available for publishing the results and preserving the sites once excavated. I would propose that scientific archaeological expeditions and government authorities sell excavated artifacts on the open market. So, EFG, here in F sentence there is a advice given to where it's telling that such sales would provide substantial, there is a conclusion basically where it tells the what happens if the E sentence happens, like read the E sentence. I would propose that somebody is proposing a statement and he is only telling that what is the conclusion of it if that happens. So, EFG come together. So, basically G is actually your last sentence. So, now read from EFG. I would propose that scientific archaeological expeditions and government authorities sell excavated artifacts in the open market. Such sales would provide substantial funds for the excavation and preservation of archaeological sites, thereby decreasing the inducement to engage in illegal activities. So, here this is done. Now, read about archaeology as a profession faces two major problems. First, it is the poorest of the poor. Second, there is a problem of illegal excavation resulting in museum quality pieces being sold to the highest bidder. At the same time, they would break the illegal excavators' grip on the market. Only partially sums are available for excavating and even less is available for publishing the results and preserving the sites once excavated. Here also A and C also gave you another link. What is that? There is a punctuation mark. There is a comma here. Comma here. What does that comma tell? That after comma there is another sentence where only can take part. So, what happens is like A and C come together again. So, what is your term is like first B starts the B sentence. Archaeology as a profession faces two major problems. First, it is the poorest of the four. This is the first opening sentence. Basically, this is the beginning of your sentence B. Then second, there is a problem of illegal excavation resulting in museum quality pieces being sold to the highest bidder. At the same time, they would break the illegal excavators' grip on the market. Then comes A. Only paltry sums are available for excavating and even less is available for publishing the results and preserving the sites once excavated. I would propose that scientific archaeological expeditions and government authorities sell excavated artifacts on the open market. Such sales would provide substantial funds for the excavation and preservation of archaeological sites, thereby decreasing the inducement to engage in illegal activities. So, B, D, A, C, E, F, G. This is your answer. B, D, A, C, E, F, G. Now, let us find out the thing. Which sentence should be the first sentence? As we have told, B is the first sentence. B option is here. So, B is your first sentence. Which sentence should be the second sentence? D option is there. D is your second sentence. Which sentence should be the third sentence? A is your third sentence. Which sentence should be the fourth sentence? C. B, D, A, C. C is your answer. Which sentence should be the second to the last in the paragraph? So, here from second to the last he is asking us. So, what is the second to the last? That is E. E is your second to the last. EG. EG is the last to the second, like from the last to the second one. So, here E comes. Now, let us find out the rest of the paragraph. There is also some exercise. This is basically easy level exercises. Let us see this. So, here also 4 sentences are given. So, in these 4 sentences, you have to find out what are the correct options, and the options are right here with the sequence they have already provided. They have provided here 4 sequences. So, at this kind of time, if you don't want to waste your much time in finding out the things and all, because only 20 minutes are only 20 minutes is the time which is allotted for English language, where 30 marks are the question and 30 questions are present. So, now let us see how to do this. Let us read this. If you are used to having your stimulation come in from outside, your mind never develops its own habits of thinking and reflecting. Marx thought that religion was the opiate because it soothed people's pain and suffering and prevented them from rising in rebellion. If Karl Marx was alive today, he would say that television is the opiate of the people. Television and similar entertainments are given more of an opiate because of their addictive tendencies. So, now let us find out the opening and closing sentences and according to the thing. So, now let us read the sentences. If Karl Marx was alive today, he would say that television is the opiate of the people. So, because in the whole sentences, you can see that television is the word which is repeated again and again. Like, see, television, television. So, these words are repeated. That means this paragraph basically wants to tell you about a theme, about an idea or a theme which is basically completely dependent on the word television. Television is the word which is the main idea or theme. So, now let us find out. So, in the first sentence itself, always a paragraph tells you about a central idea or theme. So, basically C or D, in the both C or D options only, your first beginning sentence is hidden. So, now read the sentences C and D. If Karl Marx was alive today, he would say that television is the opiate of the people. Television and similar entertainments are even more of an opiate because of their addictive tendencies. Now, let us see. This is a description which is given. D option has given a description. Never a description comes in the first. Always a introduction comes in the first beginning sentence. That means think C is your first beginning sentence. C is your beginning sentence. Now find out in the options which consists of C as the first option. D has given you the option that is CBDA. So if you want to find it out according to that, now let us make the sequence according to the options. This is much more easier way. Once you find your first option, you can easily get it. So now see as CBDA. If Karl Marx was alive today, he would say that television is the opiate of the people. Marx thought that the religion was the opiate because it soothed people's pain and suffering and prevented them from rising in rebellion. Television and similar entertainments are even more of an opiate because of their addictive tendencies. If you are used to having your stimulation come in from outside, your mind never develops its own habits of thinking and reflecting. So basically this is how it's formed. So that is why it's very important to always follow the options also. Sometimes it's very less time. See, basically in RBI exam, especially if you take into that consideration, RBI exams only give you 20 minutes of time to solve a total of 30 questions, which also consists of a reading comprehension, Pará Jumbles, closed test, spotting errors, fill in the blanks. All these are considered in that. So if you can't give much more, basically you cannot give much more time into thinking, arranging it according to the order. So at that time, try to find out at least the beginning and the closing sentence. Always try to find out the beginning and closing sentence. Once you find out any one of them, you can easily get the sentences. So basically if you find the closing sentences, for example, A is the closing sentence according to our paragraph. लेकिन यहाँ पे A के साथ दो ऑप्शन है. ये होता है BCD है और एक CBD है. तो हम उस टाइम में क्या करेंगे कि हमें ओपनिंग सेंटेंस को देखना है, B या C. सो बी और सी में एक होता है. तो आपको अकॉर्डिंग टू अगर आपको ए और ए इन दोनों में फर्क समझना है तो हम देखते हैं बी सी डी के अनुसार कैसे इसे देख सकते हैं. Marx thought that religion was opiate because it soothed people's pain and suffering and prevented them from rising in rebellion. If Karl Marx was alive today, he would say that television is the opiate of the people. As I have clearly told you yesterday in our video, never a noun can repeat again and again in the same paragraph. So, for example, here अगर आपको डिफरेंस देखना है तो यहाँ पे कार्ल मार्क्स का पूरा नाम लिखा हुआ है, लेकिन इस बाद का सेंटेंस, उसके बाद में जो भी सेंटेंस आया है वहां पे सिर्फ मार्क्स लिखा हुआ है. दैट इज दिस सी सेंटेंस introduces the character with its full name, but the other sentences which follows take up the shorter names. That means only C should be the beginning sentence, not B. So that is how you find out. So D is your correct option. C, B, D, A is your correct option. Now let us go to the other paragraph. If you are used this is the other paragraph. By reasoning, we mean the mental process of drawing an inference from two or more statements or going from the inference to the statements which yield that inference. So, 2 is one option. So, basically A, यहाँ पे A एक में लिखा हुआ है कि by reasoning we mean that the mental process of drawing an inference from two or more statements or going from the inference to the statements which yield that inference. यहाँ पे एक statement दिया गया है ऐसा. So logical reasoning covers those types of questions which imply drawing an inference from the problems. Here the word so, here the word so itself tells that this sentence should somewhere come in the middle or at the last, because concluding sentences also end with thus, hereby, however, so, such kind of words. So basically this can be is an option which can come basically in the middle or at the last. So now logic means if we take its original meaning, the science of valid reasoning. Clearly, for understanding arguments and for drawing the inference correctly, it is necessary that we should understand the statements first clearly. And if you have observed the sentence C, it has introduced a new topic called as logic. Logic means if we take its original meaning, the science of valid reasoning. Example ले लेंगे कि C is the first option. Let us think that C is the beginning sentence. So here also if you go with the options ACBD, CABD, ABCD, DBCA. So according to this, let us find out the thing that, and clearly for understanding arguments and for drawing the inference correctly, it is necessary that we should understand the statements first. So D option, clearly is a linking word or the ending word, just like which I have told you, thus, hereby, however, whenever, wherever, these kind of words come in the concluding sentences. So you can take this as your concluding sentence D. So we are not yet sure that whether C comes first or not, but we are sure that D comes at the last. But here there are three options which considers D as its closing sentence. Now let us go with ACBD. By reasoning, we mean that the mental process of drawing an inference from two or more statements or going from the inference to the statements which yield that inference. So, अगर हम इस statement में जाएंगे, let us think that A is the first option. Then the option which they gave is C, drawing an inference from the problems. Then D, clearly for understanding arguments and for drawing the inference correctly, it is necessary that we should understand the statements first. So here you might have found out there is some awkwardness in the formation of paragraph. There is some problem in the formation of paragraph. What is a problem is that first sentence is started by reasoning, which is a direct sentence, and it seems by reading it itself you can understand that it comes in somewhere middle of the paragraph, but not the first paragraph. So now ACBD doesn't work. Let us go for CABD. Logic means if we take its original meaning, the science of valid reasoning. By reasoning, we mean that the mental process of drawing an inference. Now let us find out the thing here which links both of it. As I have told you, there are linking words or connectors present in every sentences while forming a paragraph. Now let us see the C sentence. Logic means if we take its original meaning, the science of valid reasoning. Here the word reasoning is the last ending. Then sentence A started by using the word reasoning only. How? By reasoning we mean the mental process of drawing. That means this is a continuation. So basically C comes first, then A comes. Then you see CABD is the option here present where C has come first, then A. So C and A come together. B if you take it. So logical reasoning covers those type of questions which imply drawing an inference from the problems. B, again here also, inference is a word which has been repeated from the statement A, from sentence A. Inference is a word which has repeated, like here inference, where it is given that. So logical reasoning covers those type of questions which imply drawing an inference from the top. CA, then comes B, then comes D. This is what your formation is. So here CABD is the option. So now let us read it properly according to the CABD option. Logic means if we take its original meaning, the science of valid reasoning. By reasoning we mean the mental process of. So now properly read it how. CABD is the option which we have given. So now find it out according to CABD. Logic means if we take its original meaning, the science of valid reasoning. By reasoning we mean the mental process of drawing an inference from two or more statements or going from the inference to the statements which yield that inference. So logical reasoning covers those type of questions which imply drawing an inference from the problems. Clearly, for understanding arguments and for drawing the inference correctly, it is necessary that we should understand the statements first. So we find it that the paragraph has properly formed. That is how you form it. So sometimes if you do not have much time, if you have a lot of time, then that is fine. But if you do not have much time, go with the options. First try to find out what are the opening and the closing sentence, beginning and the end sentences. Some or the other linkers or determinators or connectors are always present in a paragraph sentences. So find out two sentences which can be connected together. One sentence can be called as a qualifier sentence which tells about the other sentence. So always कभी भी कोई भी एग्जाम में अगर आपको पारा जम्बल्स के बारे में पूछा गया हो और अगर आपके पास ज्यादा टाइम समय नहीं ना हो तो उस टाइम हमेशा आप पहला सेंटेंस और अंत का सेंटेंस, एंडिंग का सेंटेंस ढूंढने की कोशिश कीजिए. अगर वो दोनों में से आपको कुछ भी मिल जाए तो आप इजीली इसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि ऑप्शंस अगर ऐसे दिए हों तो आप इजीली सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. अगर ऑप्शंस ना भी दिए हों ऐसा, और अगर आपको पूछ सकते हैं कि व्हाट इज द फिफ्थ सेंटेंस, सिक्स्थ सेंटेंस आल्सो, at that time also try to find out the opening and closing sentences, and then try to find out those sentences which consists of the linkers or determinators or connectors basically. So basically they are generally called as qualifier sentences. So try to find out such kind of sentences. Now let us go with the third paragraph, third example. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. So here, this is a starting statement. Here clearly what they have told you, this is a very easier para jumble where they have already given you the beginning sentence. Basically there are four sentences, A, B, C and D. So basically there are four sentences here, A, B, C and D. But already in this paragraph mode is basically called as the easy mode of para jumbling. So in this they have already given you the beginning sentence. They have already given you the topic sentence. What is the topic sentence? Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. So this is your beginning sentence. So this is your beginning sentence. Now, so basically in this sentence, they are talking about commercially reared chicken. They are talking about commercially reared chicken. So they have already given you the beginning sentence. Now what you should do is, you have to try to find out what is a closing sentence. Because regarding the beginning sentence, you won't be able to find out because they have already given you the beginning sentence. अगर इन जैसे पैरा जम्बलिंग्स में जब आपको पहला का बिगिनिंग सेंटेंस ऑलरेडी दे चुके हैं, तब आपको क्लोजिंग सेंटेंस के बारे में देखना होगा या लिंकिंग वर्ड्स या डिटर्मिनेटर्स के बारे में देखना होगा कि कहीं ना कहीं सेंटेंस में क्वालिफाइड सेंटेंस भी हो सकता है. तो अब देखना है कि चारों सेंटेंसेस में कौन सा कंक्लूडिंग सेंटेंस होगा, व्हाट इज द कंक्लूडिंग सेंटेंस, और ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट वेयर द लिंकिंग वर्ड्स और डिटर्मिनेटर्स आर present or which is a qualifier sentence. Now let us find out what are the linking words. The birds spent far more of their time, up to a third, pecking at the inanimate objects in the pens in contrast to birds in other pens which spend a lot of time attacking others. In low light pens, they behave less belligerently but are more prone to ophthalmic disorders and respiratory problems. Then in an experiment, aggressive head pecking was all but eliminated among birds in the enriched environment. Altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shavings to their pens can work wonders. So basically, now let us find the word pens. So here the word pens can give you the answer, can give you the sequence of the whole paragraph. The word pen itself can give you the whole sequence of the whole paragraph. How is? Because here the word pens is there. Again in the option A, pens is again repeated around 2-3 times. Now let us find out if both these options can be together or not. Altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shavings to their pens can work wonders. The birds spent far more of their time, up to a third, pecking at the inanimate objects in the pens, in contrast to birds in other pens which spent a lot of time attacking others. So, commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. So, here a statement has been given in the beginning sentence telling that how a commercially reared chicken are, what is their behavior and where are they kept. So, they are often kept in darkened sheds. So, darkened sheds is a different place. So, in the other sentences, which sentence talks about the place is the sentence which comes next. So, let us find out which sentence talks about the next. So, there are two sentences, B or D. So, find out the sentences which actually come together. In this, let us find out B or D. So, here there are two options. C option is there, this option, D option is there, A option is there. Where first D has come or B has come. Now, let us find out with DCAB, which is the first option. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. Then can come then it comes as D option. Let us take the first option. Altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shavings to their pens can work wonders. Then C option, in an experiment aggressive head pecking was all but eliminated among birds in the enriched environment. The birds spent far more of their time, up to a third, pecking at the inanimate objects in the pens, in contrast to birds in other pens which spent a lot of time attacking others. In low light conditions, they behave less belligerently but are more prone to ophthalmic disorders and respiratory problems. So, here basically they have given in this paragraph, if you consider it properly, two sentences are already provided. Two sentences are already provided where first sentence can be, is the beginning sentences because they haven't asked you what to do with it. Four options are given, A, B and C and D. Again a sentence is given which can be called as your concluding sentence. This can be called as your concluding sentence. So, beginning and concluding sentences are given. Now, what you have to do is find out the middle paragraph which can be called as your main body or the middle body of the whole paragraph. So, now let us, topic sentence is here, concluding sentence is here, let us find out the main body. So, as we have already discussed, there are two options, DCAB, DBAC or BDCA. Now, let us see how it goes to bales, altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shavings to their pen can work wonders. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. Altering the bird's environment, often kept in darkened sheds, is talking about a different place. So the other statements which talks about a different space is D option. Altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shavings to their pens can work wonders. So basically let us think that D is the option. D is the option. So if after the beginning sentence D is the option, then let us find out with the options what is there. DBAC and DCAB. Now find it out according to DCAB. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. Altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shaving to their pens can work wonders. In an experiment, aggressive head picking was all but eliminated among birds in the enriched environment. The birds spent far more of their time, up to a third, pecking at the inanimate objects in the pens, in contrast to birds in other pens which spent a lot of time attacking others. In low light conditions, they behave less belligerently but are more prone to ophthalmic disorders and respiratory problems. Bales could diminish aggressiveness and reduce injuries. They might even improve productivity, since a happy chicken is a productive chicken. Now let us find what is the sentence with DBAC. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. In low light conditions, they behave less belligerently but are more prone to ophthalmic disorders and respiratory problems. The birds spent far more of their time, up to a third, pecking at the inanimate objects in the pens, in contrast to birds in other pens which spent a lot of time attacking others. Then find out about altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shavings to their pens can work wonders. So basically both the options are not fitting it, because there is some awkwardness. As we have told you, you should always find out about the concluding, about the linking words and the determinators. But here there is some awkwardness in this. So D cannot be your first statement. Now let us go again with the statements where where the statements talks about places, just like the beginning sentences. There are two sentences which basically talk about the places, like darkened sheds. What are the two sentences are? In low light conditions, another is altering the bird's environment. Basically here two statements are given which talk about the place change of the birds. So now let us find out about, now let us link both the statements like with the beginning sentence. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. In low light conditions, they behave less belligerently but are more prone to ophthalmic disorders and respiratory problems. So let us think that B is your first option. Let us think that B is our first option after the beginning sentence. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive. After this beginning sentence, think that B is your first sentence which should follow the sentence of the beginning sentence. Now let us find out where are B. Here option D has B, D, C, A. Now let us arrange the following paragraph according to the answer option given here, B, D, C, A. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. In low light conditions, they behave less belligerently but are more prone to ophthalmic disorders and respiratory problems. In an experiment, aggressive head pecking was all but eliminated among birds in the enriched environment. So B, D, C, A, like in low light conditions they behave less belligerently but are more prone to ophthalmic disorders and respiratory problems. Altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shavings to their pens can work wonders. In an experiment, aggressive head pecking was all but eliminated among birds in the enriched environment. Then came the birds spent far more of their time, up to a third, pecking at the inanimate objects in the pens, in contrast to birds in other pens which spent a lot of time attacking others. Bales could diminish aggressiveness and reduce injuries. They might even improve productivity, since a happy chicken is a productive chicken. So here you can clearly see that in an experiment, altering the bird's environment are the words which worked as the linking words. See in an experiment and altering the bird's environment, generally you can take them as the qualifier sentences. Qualifier sentences basically which actually talk about the other sentences. So here both of them are the qualifier sentences. So according to the option we can go with BDCA. BDCA can be the correct option. How? Let us now properly sequentially arrange it. Sequentially arrange it. Now read it out as B is the first one. So here as we have seen, BDCA as we have decided is the option related to this paragraph. Now let us now sequence it properly, rearrange it. B is the first option as we have told, D is the second option as we have thought, like C is the third, A is the fourth option. Now let us properly rearrange this whole paragraph. Commercially reared chicken can be unusually aggressive and are often kept in darkened sheds to prevent them from pecking at each other. In low light conditions, they behave less belligerently but are more prone to ophthalmic disorders and respiratory problems. Altering the bird's environment by adding bales of wood shavings to their pens can work wonders. Where pens has been discussed for the first time in the paragraph. Then, in an experiment, aggressive head pecking was all but eliminated among birds in the enriched environment. The birds spent far more of their time, up to a third, pecking at the inanimate objects in the pens, in contrast to birds in other pens which spent a lot of time attacking others. Bales could diminish aggressiveness and reduce injuries. They might even improve productivity, since a happy chicken is a productive chicken. So that is how you find out the whole paragraph. Now this paragraph is what you feel is the completed paragraph, where the whole paragraph is properly sequenced. So when there is a very less time, when there is a very less time, what you all have to do is, you have to go according to the options given, try to find out the first sentence or the closing sentence, or try to find out the linking words, determinators or connector words, try to find out where is the qualifier sentences. There might be some sentences which might have abruptly ended and the other sentence might be in the other sentence option. So find out such kind of sentences which could be very helpful for you, and you can easily solve them in a very less time. Now, tomorrow again, let us meet with more examples. Tomorrow, let's meet with much more examples and to understand how to Parajumbles in a middle way. Basically, as I have told you, there are 3 modes of Parajumbles: easy mode, medium mode and difficult mode. So tomorrow, let's talk about the rest of the Parajumbles and how to solve them easily. So if you have understood the topic today, Parajumbles, then please do like and share our videos in Wisdom Jobs, and also please do subscribe our Wisdom Jobs if you haven't subscribed till now, and please do not miss any of our live videos, because all these live videos, all our videos are according to the syllabus, and if you miss even a single video, that will be a very problematic for you for the preparation for RBI assistant exam. And if you have any more doubts regarding the same topic or any new topic that you want to discover with the learning process that we go through with you, then please do drop a comment in our comment box asking us the new topic. So we'll be get back to you if there are any doubts. Again,